Got to pimp the winery.
We gotta
Like
pimp the winery.
Whoop,
We are
whoop.
now live.
All right, let's talk about this book. Because what the heck? I don't.
did you like it or not?
I loved it, but I thought I was going one direction, and then I was like, I took a left in Albuquerque, and I was lost. So, like Bugs Bunny says, I took a left in Albuquerque, and there it went.
Yeah,
Yep.
that way.
Because I thought it was more like, okay, where should we start? Where are we going?
So,
Yes.
so I'll let Becky, because it was her book club pick. So I'll
Becky.
let you kind of introduce
Becky.
it, and then we can all go around and say what we're drinking, so we can like, what?
All right.
So you go for it, Becky.
So the book I picked is called I Am the Cheese by Robert Cormier.
Love it.
And it was written in the late 70s. And I read it as an adult when the book was only a couple of years old, and loved it. And I've been thinking about it recently. So I thought, this is really cool. And because we had just read this other strange book where the lady
Yeah.
kind of
I don't want to talk of the other strange book because
it looked like she was going one way, and then it just kind of went, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's when I thought of this book, where it doesn't ever like down into this total craziness. So I thought it was really intriguing. And even though it's a young adult book, I said, let's read this book. So the I don't even know how to say the premise. It starts out with the guy, a teenager, on his bike going to see his father, or so you think.
Well, I was kind of like, where are we going with this? Like,
Right.
who's gonna ride a horribly unbalanced bike into how many 5 or 6 townships?
Right. But remember, he's like 17 or so. Or
And it was
15.
1977. The book was based on, I understand, but still, I'd be like, okay, well, I can take a Greyhound.
Right. Yeah, but teenagers don't think the same as you do.
That's true.
Right? Like this kid thinks he's going to do this thing.
Yeah, it was like, we're going to ride a bike, and I'm going to see my dad, and I have a present, and I have this and that. But it was kind of like it drawn me in.
Drew?
You in?
Drew. Hey, I've had 3 glasses of rose.
I done drowted in me.
I've been at work.
You got sucked in.
In the morning, and it's been a long day. But it was kind of weird because it reminded me a lot of Papillon. I don't know if you remember the whole Dustin Hoffman book.
I haven't read it, but yes.
Yes, Dustin Hoffman and Papillon, it was like, you thought it was going one way, but wait, we have a turn. So, I was guessing it was going to end in a certain way, but then when they kind of took it to area A.2, I was kind of like, oh, I see where you're going here.
Yeah.
What you're doing. But it was, it drew me in quite well because I was, it was one day that I said, I'm going to finish this book. I had read like 200 pages. I'm going to finish the end of it because we had Wine Club Week. And I don't know if you guys understand, but Wine Club Week is we have 2,100 Wine Club members. And we have to organize everything, and it's people.
Yeah, that's a busy event.
People want their wine, and it's a long 3 weeks process. But I started reading it while I was doing my hair, and I'm like, "What is this? Wait, what? What?" And like, little did I know, I went from 100 pages to 200 pages quickly. So
Yep.
I was drawn in. It was wonderful. So I really enjoyed this book. I have told people at work, you need to read this book. It was written in 1977. I really enjoyed it. But the one thing that I thought it was going to go left and it went right when it was like, okay, where are we going to start with this? Because I really want to do this like in depth because this is happening. And where's Vanessa?
I don't know. I
We don't know.
What's going on?
She's MIA.
maybe you can text her. I don't know. I texted her and I didn't hear back, but I may not have the right number because when I texted her, it didn't come up with like any previous texts.
Oh,
So I don't know. You know, usually it has all the
There's more
conversations.
rosé.
But
This is happening.
so, oh yeah, this is champagne with blackberry syrup.
Ooh,
Ooh,
you know, I have to send you
fancy.
our blackberry port style wine.
Oh,
It
that
is
sounds good.
wine that's for
Yes.
brandy.
And you have rosé, and then what else are we drinking?
Lafroig.
Lafroig. What do you
Yes.
got, Loli?
Okay, so I'm a cheap bee. So this is Aldi's version of a White Claw. It is Vista Bay.
Cool.
Hey,
I'm gonna
hey.
sponsor it.
But you know,
It is
it's a low carb,
$3.40 for a
healthy.
pack of 6.
What?
And it's just as good. This is
This
the
is
Ruby
like girl on
grapefruit.
a train material.
Yeah, right here.
Exactly.
It is big.
A little GNC in a can.
I keep it fancy.
Oh, there you go.
No, this is
Pinkies
this
up.
is really good.
Keep going.
They had all the flavors too, but I was like, you know what? Let me try that ruby grapefruit, and it did not disappoint. And half
Like
a
a
can of
salt.
this, and you feel a little tipsy if you're empty belly. So let me tell you.
Oh,
Oh wow.
I kind of had like lunch, breakfast today, so I understand where you're getting at.
Mhm.
I had
The thing that I thought sucked you into this book, I don't know what you think, but it's like you're reading two separate stories and you're not sure how
Yes.
to put them together. And it's not until the end that you realize it's all taking place as it goes along, and that he pretty much gets to this point every time. And then when he has to confront what really happened and caused his emotional breakdown, he just can't do it, and then he starts all over again.
First of all, emotional breakdowns. That's a norm.
It had a very
We
All of us have had
normalized it.
emotional breakdowns weekly. Hello.
It had what, Mike?
it had a very usual suspects feel to it at the end.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
are you doing the whole?
Oh, that's true.
Jose?
that's true. I get that, where this person is actually this person, and this is actually yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to let the children see that I'm vaping.
Did you like it? Did you like it, Mike?
I liked it.
I love it. And
I thought it was fantastic,
I
especially
thought
compared to the last one.
Oh my god! But you know, and that's kind of what made me think of this one, is because it has sort of the elements of that one, but
okay, I couldn't. I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't get into the last book. I could not.
Oh, nobody
don't
can.
worry about it. Don't worry about
I
it.
wanted to just like tell her to just go in like with the Cocoon movie with the guy in the pool, and it's like, why don't you go and heal yourself, and blah, 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 and I don't want to hear this, and your
Wait till
dog,
she
and
didn't even get to the ninja outfit.
no, I could not. I was done. I was
Yeah.
done when the dog and the too much in the dog, and the dog was like the
Yeah.
focus, and I'm like, okay, I love my animals to death, but I need
So
a
Lauren, did you like it?
2020 has been a really crummy year. But let me tell you, it's more of a disappointment was the last book. Was that last book? It was just
I don't want to
I
talk.
tried. I really
I'm
did try
trying
to see it like as an art piece.
I'm
And it's
trying-
funny that
I
we're still
did.
like the remnants of it is coming in,
Right.
but like I couldn't.
I did too.
No.
like
The writing was
But we're still
very-
talking about it.
we need to get into
the writing was
ugly.
good.
Like my opinion is 2020 is ugly. We need some ugly books. We need some like really like dirty, ugly, like scraping to the bone, nasty, graphic horror.
And the glass is empty.
Something.
I'll be right back.
Wait, where are you going?
Inside,
He's got to refill. He's refilling.
the glass is empty.
He needs more booze.
He's in my apartment.
I know.
Let's go.
I'm on your deck. It's
See,
close
that's
enough.
my deck. Do you see the lovely view? And this is the lovely dining room view here that looks like the Bugs.
I like it. Well, I'm usually in my
Oh, I
studio.
like it though.
I'm in the living room today, so you see my refrigerator. That's really
I
fun.
love your refrigerator,
nice.
Becky. Where's your putty puts?
My who?
Your kitty cats.
Oh well, when I last looked, by some miracle, they're both resting on my bed, and
Oh,
they're like together and happy and peaceful.
aw,
So that's cool.
Aw.
I
Yeah.
know.
Did you like it, Lauren? Did you like the book, Lauren?
I
I
did. Like I
love,
said,
I love the book.
it
Me too.
it was a good
I did
book,
too.
and anything was following the last book, I think would have just been like amazing for
Right.
us.
Well, that's
But
true.
this one actually, like how Sophia was saying, it kept me going. It kept my
Uh-huh.
attention, and then it was just like, oh, there's two stories in here. I love me a two-story one book,
Right.
kind of deal.
Right.
Two for one for. And it was just, I was actually really surprised that it was like a young adult's book. I was like, oh,
It was.
I was like,
Yeah.
It's been like a night. Well, first of all, I cheated, and I went and looked the history of the author and when the book was released, because I'm kind of one of those, ISDNB people that is like, when was this book produced? And it was like 1977. I'm like, oh, that's leisure
Perfect sense.
material. But it was, I was really intrigued with it by the first chapter. Like the
Yeah.
first 3 pages, it drew you in. And that's
I agree. And the reason I went ahead and recommended this book, having read it before, even though I haven't read it for however many years that is, 40 years. And the reason I recommend it is because it doesn't disappoint at the end. Like the other one drew you in right away. I was sucked in right away in the other one. And then it just kept like going downhill. And the ending was so unsatisfactory.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to move my iPad because you have no idea what I'm trying to do with my iPad. I have a Weeder's corkscrew to
like
balance
pop it
my
up.
iPad around.
I feel like I'm on a lean. I'm
I
just
love
leaning
it.
with my Vista Bay.
It's been a long day, and what? Jesus, holy Mary. Okay.
So anyway, the
We'll
thing
get
I
our
liked
stuff
is that
together.
this one actually, even though it didn't really resolve anything at the end, but it did. It told you where he was, what was
Yeah.
going on, and you completely understood what was happening. You knew that he was, like his brain just could not handle what had happened to him, and he was just going to have to go.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. I kind of loved it. It reminded me a little bit of Memento.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memento is one of my favorite movies.
I know. I want to look. Have you ever read it? I mean, have you ever watched it backwards?
Right now, because I'm trying to do my corkscrew thing here. Hey!
Hey, there it's
Voila.
perfect. I want to watch Memento backwards. I have the DVD. I just never have.
That was one of I took an art and film class my sophomore year of college, and it was Memento was one of the bases where they tried to teach you that they're going from the back to the front.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. Oh, hey, Dita, come here. So I have a kitten.
Right.
No.
Now you have kittens.
Yes, hold on. Come here, Mama.
Yes, they made their appearance at the last book club.
Okay, so this is
Yes,
Dita,
they did.
Dita Von Mute.
Look how you've grown.
Oh, look at her still. This is
So
Dita.
pretty.
She has a little polka dot on her tuk-tuk. Look at
She's
On a
little
tuk
shit
tuk.
number 1, and little shit number 2 is roaming around.
Well, yeah, Maxine has issues.
Aw.
But it's okay. She likes the snuggle bug, and she's a good kitty. Dita is evil.
It's Peeps.
Yeah, she likes to attack
Or
my
Dita.
mats and my couch and the dogs. So,
So everything?
I have notes. Are we ready for notes? Are we?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're going for notes.
Ooh, bust out some
Okay.
notes.
We're
I'm
doing the notes. Okay, so the bike was the first clue. Like, it was the bike my dad used to ride, but he didn't say it was his dad's bike or it was his bike. And then he was talking about the handlebars being cracked and it being used. So I'm like, okay, this is not his bike. This is not his dad's bike. This is not anyone's that he knows bike. So who picked that up?
I did not. I
I
read.
didn't.
I did not.
Oh. Am I the
I
spoiler?
first read the book. No.
No.
I really bought into it.
And then the mom thing where the mom was like talking where they were listening in the camera. I'm like, oh, she's gonna die. You know,
First, I was like, okay, this
Yeah.
kid's trying to get to his dad's, and
the mom is talking
Yeah.
in not the private room and this and that, and I'm like, yeah, she's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did enjoy the fact that they kind of twisted it around the end where Mr. Gray was not, spoiler alert, don't watch.
Yeah.
Close your eyes, cover your ears, earmuffs, people. But Mr. Gray went from listening, I think he was like listening in the rooms around the house and then listening in the office. And that's where he decided what had to happen to people. Am I the only one that believed in that?
I can see that. At first, I thought the doctor was on the other side, like trying to find out what he knew to use it against the family.
He was like,
Yeah.
no, he was sneaky snake. No, no, he was like Cancer Man in X-Files. No.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Ooh, the
that.
smoking man, the
The
kissing
Yes.
smoking man, yes. Oh, don't get me started on that, girl.
So he was their
Oh, I
handler.
love me the X Files.
I miss
Me
the
too.
X-Files. I do. It was like the thing we watched. Like Jenny was a little baby, and now she's like 26.
It was Sunday night.
Yep.
Aw.
I know, I never watched it. Now my partner Ann, she watched it all the time, but I never.
Becky.
I had 2 jobs and raised kids while that was going on.
You gotta watch it now.
And
I watched it when Chloe was born, or the night she was in the hospital. X-Files was on, so I had to stay caught up.
No, but the thing was, X-Files was the poo, but still, it with this one, it was like I have learned with mysteries that you don't go for the red herring.
There you go.
The herring was
Right.
that there was quite a bit of a red herring, but it wasn't open. It wasn't like obvious. Like he really hid this as an author, and I was very intrigued. And I'm like, wait, where are we going with this? Kind of a girl in the train. I knew what was going on, and when I'm like, what is happening?
But then, even then, at the end, all of a sudden, at the end, it's like, this,
Yeah.
cut and dry. The end, oh, now she saves this and does that, and there's.
What?
I was like, come on.
Ridiculous. And I was angry at a point, like when he's like, why are these boys in the diner, and why does he have butter in his clam chowder? Who puts butter in clam chowder?
Right.
It's like, no, I don't want butter in my clam chowder. But
I don't think they missed. I don't think anything was extraneous in this story.
But it all connected because, like,
I'm saying it all seemed to come together.
Earmuffs, people. That, when he was talking to the waiter with the ear, then the phone. That was kind of a thing, and I'm like, what does this has to do with it? So I started planting the seed and ruminating about it. So, like, what was your first clue that there was something else going on, Lauren?
I'd probably have to say with like his anxiety and like the pills. He kept on talking about the pills. He kept on talking about like not remembering even how to getting into those interviews, and just kind of like where he was like, I'm shaking, or like he started to sweat and feel nauseous. I was like, this guy's unstable. I was like, this guy's cray. And then that's where it was started to unfold for me, which was actually kind of in the beginning, because he always was kind of like, he came off like really sickly because he was just like not feeling well. He was starting to get anxious in small spaces.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings.
I don't know. I had those funny feelings the whole way through it, because when I first read it, I did not. I was trying to figure out when he was doing these interviews, like as if that was all happening later or early. I mean, I couldn't figure it out.
I thought the tapes were happening later, personally.
That's what
I thought so too.
But it was the clue, like when he tried to call his girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, we have a timeline. We have a memento. We have an issue. And it was like, okay,
Yes,
so
I think
her, and he's getting the wrong number with the guy who had the flu. I'm like,
Flu, yeah.
if I call the house and it says, I'm just dealing with the flu, I'm like, toodaloo. But, it was kind of weird. And then I started thinking, okay, so where are we going from here? Because this is how I don't know. I kind of ruin things. I wish I was more like easier. Yeah. Like to deal with stuff. Because I watched so much, like, okay, Lauren, my mom, your mom, and I have grown up watching PBS Mysteries and Agatha Christie and Poirot and Mystery Theater and all that stuff. And you understand that we're like, oh, far-fetched?
Yeah.
Not the red herring, but the white herring. Here's where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what? Oh no, we lost Becky.
We lost Becky.
Oh,
Becky. Look,
he's knocked her all the way off.
Oh, Becky, no, come back, Becky.
Oh no, Becky.
No, come back, Becky.
Don't let go, Becky. Don't let go.
Should I get the kittens back up here? Maxine, Dita.
Oh,
you be nice.
babies.
Oh,
be nice to my kitties.
My Maxine and my. Well, I have Maxine and Dita Von Me.
Oh, there's Becky. There's Becky.
Becky.
It keeps cutting out on me and just going into like it keeps leaving.
Becky with the good hair, you back.
Becky with the good hair is back. Oh, hey Becky.
Straight to the Becky.
Guess what I had the other day?
Was it
pork tenderloin? Oh, pork tenderloin sandwich. Pork tenderloin. Oh, are you getting the oh.
That Wi-Fi is jumping in and out, but oh well.
Oh,
no.
So my friend Marilyn, I gave my friend Marilyn this book to read, and Marilyn is like Mikey. She hates everything.
What?
Seriously. She argues about everything. Everything's negative. You know, she just argues to argue, you know?
What?
She's in her late 70s. And she's always been this way, but it's getting worse and worse the older she gets. I did not even give her the other book to read because she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
They're crazy or whatever. She reads. And she tells me, she told me a few months ago, there's nothing on Netflix to watch. I've watched everything there is to watch on Netflix.
Oh, then you hit the Hulu.
All right.
Yeah.
She hasn't. She only likes, these certain things, and she likes to be very intellectual. And she's like, "Oh, there's nothing on there." I'm like, "Oh my God!" And my son and I said, "We can watch TV for 20 hours a day, sleep for 4, and then watch it again." That stuff on all these streaming channels,
For sure.
There's so much stuff on, but so she read it, and I said, "Well, what do you think?" And she goes, "Wow." She goes, "It was crazy. And you know how I am when they're crazy. It was terrible." And I said, "But he wasn't crazy." "Oh,
no.
He was batshit crazy. He was nutty." I said, "He wasn't nutty as a fruitcake. He was perfectly fine, but he's had this emotional break and he's just shut off this place. But I didn't think he was crazy. He's just caught."
Yeah, but here's what I was worried about. I'm thinking, like, after this episode, they were gonna kill him. That's what's scary.
Once they find out where his dad, this is what I'm wondering, and I couldn't figure out if his dad is killed because his mom is dead.
I think his dad was dead.
But I think his dad was dead too. But I think that these Institute people think that his dad is somewhere else and that he knows where his dad is.
Yeah, they're considering him dead, but they wanted to get his information of what his dad told him.
Right.
That's why they kept like weeding him, like not weeding him, but drawing him in, saying, "Hey, what did dad tell you?" And blah blah blah. And he kept saying, well, he said, "I can't say anything, or he can't tell me anything because I would be in danger."
Right.
Like,
see, that's why I thought those people, the doctors, were on for the bad people, trying to find out what he knew and where the dad was so they could go kill him.
Yeah, so
That's
did I.
what I thought. I still think that.
And I keep cheering for the dad. Was I the only one?
I'm not sure they're going to even
Oh,
kill him.
Dad,
They
go.
just want his information, and they're keeping him in this institution and monitoring him because they want to know what his dad knew.
Yeah, more knowledge.
Yeah. I don't know that. I mean, they might kill him when it's all over, but
With
I'm
dark,
like, yeah,
you went
you're
real
gonna die,
dark,
dude.
Becky.
yeah, but it's a young adult book. It's a young adult book, and I know it's dark, but I don't think the ultimate thing was to kill the boy. They just want to get his information.
Well,
And
they
he
killed
gets,
the mom,
he may even
Yeah.
have some information, but his
And-
brain shut it off.
and he was like 1B. Mom was 1A. He was 1B. Dad was 1C. So
Right.
it was kind of like, okay, so you better like milk it so you can live a little longer. And that's how.
Yeah, and I was kind of getting that sense too. Like he was like hesitant. Well, he kind of had suspicions on them too. He's like, they're just kind of letting me be because I know this stuff, so I'm going to
Right.
be hesitant instead of letting them know anything. And that was how he was the entire
And he
time.
kept
He was
questioning.
always like, mm-hmm.
You're like, why do you need to know this? Why do you want to know this? And I'm like, yes, keep asking, keep doing it, draw it in. But like the part of me was like, just stop, don't answer, don't say anything. But
Yeah,
And
I
that-
hated, and that's funny that you say that because I felt when he would start to open up to the what was
Yeah,
it,
you're like,
Brinton or whatever
"Shut
his name
up."
was, Brent. And I was like, shush, you shut your mouth, man. You gotta
Don't
live,
tell him
bro.
what you know.
And then I
Yeah.
was kind of like, yeah, and then I felt like annoyed with him. I was like, don't tell him your secrets. And
Yeah.
because he was so smart, he even saw like facial expressions, like, hey man,
know,
you
it
kind of look
broke
funny right now.
It broke my heart. Like I fell in love with him. I
Right.
think, like,
Yeah.
this is the little boy that needs somebody to take care of him. And
Yeah.
as a maternal figure, I'm just like, no, don't stop. Don't say those things. And it's like you're giving too much, you're opening up too much, you're being vulnerable. And part of me wanted to say,
Right.
but I just
But at the same time, you got the feeling that he was in a place where they were trying to make him better. You knew something had happened to him.
I
You
did.
knew he was trying.
Oh,
Well, I did. I kept
Oh.
thinking they're trying to, help. They're trying to get to the bottom of what's going on, and he's like regressing. He spent like whatever. How long was he in there before he would even talk to them? A long time.
and it was like they said
For
3
sure.
weeks, but still, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to like. It was a very sad story to me. To me, it was like, oh God, it was heartbreaking. I
It
couldn't.
was sad, but
Yeah.
at the same time, because of the way they did it, and they felt it, and they didn't kill him, and he didn't divulge anything, and he didn't do it.
But then
Even
they
though
said
he
one
still
more
goes on this
year.
journey all the time, and his mind isn't,
Yeah.
has shut off. You're still a little hopeful for him that he might be okay in the long run. Now that he's talking, now that he's almost getting there, maybe he'll be okay.
But the thing
I
is, with me, it was like they said one more year, and I'm like, shut the heck up. Like it was just shh. No, just be like, there's birdies in the yard, or here are the squirrels on the bird feeder, and the kitty cat is digging in the garden, and
right.
you're like, shh, don't, you're gonna get killed. And it was heartbreaking in a way, but
Anyway,
it kind of draws you in. That whole like where you take the underdog and you take that minuscule character and you identify with that person, and then you have to deal with the after effects of what's going to happen to that individual. So it was very heartbreaking, but it drew me in.
Oh, for sure.
Good.
It did, and I want to say
Loved it.
a comparison with it kind of made me feel a little bit similar to The Silent Patient, but like it was the
Right?
other opposite
Yeah.
perspective. Like now
I
we're
feel
in
that,
him.
but
Like we get
still.
to see what he's going through when
Wait,
you're
let's
going
talk
through this
about
traumatic experience.
what was that one story? The 12 stories? 12?
The
Oh,
12 Tales.
Yes!
Yes.
That's
Hmm
what it reminded me of. it reminded me of that because it was
Yeah.
The
like
layers of a good
The
everything.
The
layers.
layers.
story.
The layers are what makes it good.
Yes.
But man, it takes me off whether it's a movie or a book. When you get sucked in and you go all the way through this,
Oh,
and then they just screw with you at the end, and it either doesn't make any sense or something weird, or you're like, why did I invest all this time
tearing me up.
AKA the last book.
There
and
in the-
do all this stuff? Well, the last book, I know. The last book was one of those. I was like, really? I can't get that time back, and you just ruined it.
But you know what? Like,
I hope the author is watching.
Yeah, she is.
Odessa.
so I was talking about this book to multiple coworkers because we have
Cool.
a bit of a wine. We call ourselves the winos. We're the
I
winos.
like it. I like it.
Yes. And we were talking about this book, and I said, "You guys have to read this book. It is amazing. It's amazing. I loved
That's
it.
so
Like
cool.
the light we cannot see was pretty.
Oh.
The first
That's another one that screwed with me at the end.
Yes.
Oh my god, I was so mad.
the feels. I can't deal with that book right now, but I have handed that book out to multiple people saying you need to read this book. It
Oh,
is
that's awesome.
amazing.
I agree.
Oh, even
It
like
got hard.
Obama had it as his top read.
And-
And to me, if a
Oh, yeah?
president elect or past says you need to read this book, well, yeah, you can read the book. I don't care, But the thing was, it with this one, it kind of reminded me a lot of that because you were seeing both sides of the story, your own mental capacity, and what your beliefs were, and what the character was telling you what the story was. So that's the interesting aspect. Like, it's got the A and the B. And I'm kind of like, I don't trust anything. And like, Mike knows that. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm like, wait, they're telling me this, but this is probably
I don't think so.
going on. I'm just gonna tell you, we got the A, but there's the C.
Right?
So,
And I think the only gimmicky thing he really did with the whole I'm the Cheese was have them have Farmer as their, a new name, and then do the whole Farmer and the Dell thing. That was kind of the only gimmicky thing.
and the
But
mouse,
remember, he's writing it for 15-year-olds.
yeah, and the mouse.
So-
Yeah.
And then at the very end, he's like, da 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 da, the cheese stands alone, and then he says, I'm the cheese. And you go, I get it.
I get
I
it. Well,
right?
the mouse
Got it.
the
Got
mouse takes the cheese. So he took the cheese. He took the bait. He took the trap, believing what he was told was a normal story. Like, hey, your dad did this, your mom did that. It's like, well,
I don't know. I didn't see that. I got that he's the cheese. The rat wants him. He's the cheese. He's standing all alone.
but the thing is, the mouse
True.
makes the cheese.
Right. And
Like, you remember the lyrics. The mouse takes the cheese. That means
the rat takes the cheese stands alone.
The cheese stands alone. So therefore, he was standing by himself when the rat was trying to get to him. And the rat was the investigator, or whatever his name was, with Beyonce or whatever.
Beyonce.
Whatever
It was
his name was.
definitely like Brent. It was like a weird. It was a
weird name. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what's going on with this dude? Like, even the first chapter, I'm like, shut up, don't talk, stop it, don't do it. No, he's gonna kill you. You're not gonna get any kind of food. There's no bathroom privileges. Oh,
When he was talking about
no
the pills,
pudding for break.
yeah.
I was
And
bothered about that with the
Oh,
pills.
the kitty cats are gone.
I do have to say,
Gone.
yeah, I do have to say that Robert Cormier,
You
the
Yeah.
author,
yes.
he really did. He did a really good job of describing this, and because I was annoyed with this Brent guy, like the therapist, or the you thought it was a therapist or like a secret spy guy.
Right. Well,
And I
I
was just like, every sentence that he said, I was just like so annoyed. I was like, this guy is just no good, and I'm like,
Nosy.
he did a good job. Yeah, very nosy, but like very short. And it's like, you do your thing. He wasn't rude or anything. He was trying to be, he wrote it very well where he was coming across thinking like, where he was supportive, but really you knew that he had other intentions. And it was really good.
So do you think he was crazy?
No.
I
think that he was, I don't think he was crazy. I think that he has some kind of frontal lobe injury where he couldn't remember what actually was going on and whatnot, but they were trying to find out if his dad told him things.
Right.
So they were trying to draw that out, which is kind of gross in my opinion, but
yeah. I think he was very heavily medicated. Like that's why it was just like
take the pill,
that confusion that you don't even know what's going on with you. Yeah.
Right.
And it was just like it's traumatic. Yeah. He
and as the book goes on and he quits taking the pills, he starts talking more.
Yeah, more. He's very smart because he's very observant
right.
when he is clear in mind. So I don't think he was crazy. I think it's just that he was in this haze and you were in that haze with him. And then it was just like when he got that clarity, you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. I was like, oh man, this guy's like.
It was heartbreaking too at the same time.
Yeah, I just think he was completely withdrawn. Mike?
I was thinking, oh my God, this poor kid. And that's why he makes fun of me because I'm always looking at the whole victim aspect of it.
Do you think he's crazy, Mike?
Oh, your mic is off. Oh, see?
He's crazy. Our backup vocals.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the girlfriend real?
No.
Yes, I think she was. But he's been in this place for 3 years.
Right. What was her name? Amy?
Yeah. So I think she was, but they were only like 12 or 13 or something.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Little, yeah.
So they, they were just.
They did say that it was 3 years away. They did, and one of the final chapters said 3 years into it. So it was like the hotel closed 3 years ago.
Right.
Right.
Blah blah blah. So it was. She probably went to college. Her parents probably retired and went to Boca.
Yeah, I think they were all real. They were just.
So that's
before his break, and he just completely withdrew in that trauma of the parents being killed.
And attack happened to his parents. He was picked up by said unsaid
Mr. Gray.
Individuals.
Did Mr. Gray pick him up? I couldn't remember.
I don't know.
Or did he see Mr. Gray with his father and he doesn't know who picked him up?
Well,
I can't remember.
If you remember, he ran away.
Yeah,
he was injured.
Yeah, he ran away and they were saying, get him, blah, 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 this and that. But I think it was kind of like the whole Cancer Man aspect of like X-Files where the dad ran away and they were trying to find him via the son and said, you have 1 more year and then we're going to kill you. And I'm like, what the heck? It was sad. But I loved it.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah. And the boy's trying to find his father. That's why I thought the father wasn't dead. And he really wants to find the father, but he's like, can't do it.
The mom was squashed.
Mom's done.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we never really found out what the father knew that got him in such danger in the first place.
He's like, my dad refused to tell me. My dad told me this. My dad told me that. And it's, well, his dad was trying to protect him, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
That's why he's alive still.
Right.
Years away. But
yeah, I think they're looking for the dad still, and they think the boy knows where he is.
Exactly. So unless the dad is found, the boy is going to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. For as long
that's
as
what I got from it.
I totally loved it. I was like, yes, this is kind of book. I loved it. I didn't guess the ending. I kind of guessed the ending, but I didn't guess the ending. So
guess the ending. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It kept me
like not girl on the train.
This book,
but
yeah,
Yeah. Even
Oh,
though
that
the
was a
gin
good
and
one, too.
tonics, Becky, I'm trying to find a gin that I would like. I'm trying, Becky. I'm
I got my
good
Fix
gin.
the Face.
I know. I can't.
I'm not a fan of gin. I
Wait.
hate it. It tastes like
Wait.
premium.
Where'd she go?
Oh, there
Becky,
she is.
there she is.
Just keep
Oh,
cutting out on me, and
Scotch
I
is
don't know
supposed to
why.
have gin.
Okay, tell me what
All right.
gin I should drink.
What gin you should drink? Oh gosh,
Not Bombay.
How about Hendrix?
no. Tanqueray is actually my favorite
not Bombay.
ordinary gin.
Hendrix?
My son used to work at a bar in Chicago that is a gin bar. I can't think of the name, but they make their own gins, and there was some wonderful stuff. But
I hate gin so much.
so I love gin. I like Tanqueray.
Expand our alcohol vocabulary.
It tastes like potpourri to me.
It tastes like,
You know how some people's just taste palates are
But-
different? Like people think
well-
cilantro tastes like soap. Gin
Yeah.
tastes like potpourri
Because
to me.
Seagram's makes a gin too, don't they? Now the gin I've been drinking actually comes from St. Augustine. There's a distillery.
I have a train.
I love it.
Choo-choo.
I lived
I
near.
love it.
I lived half a block from the train track for 10 years, and it was really kind of cool.
Yes, she's
I
half
love
a
it.
block from the train.
It was
And
kinda
he's
cool.
here in my
Choo-choo.
apartment area because he doesn't know any better and he needs to go home. And
He has to be here for the. He has to be here for the
he
book
has
club.
to go. But we have tracks a block away from my apartment, so
So
um,
this stuff from the St. Augustine Distillery, and that's what it's called, St. Augustine Distillery. Fabulous gin,
huh.
nice and dry and
Not like the whole like
piquant.
cottony type weird.
No, it's cotton gin and I'm drinking gin or two different.
Oh. Sit here and just.
I don't know. This is probably cheap champagne too, but but it's good.
Nothing wrong with a little cheap.
Provence
Let me tell you.
Exactly.
We have a Provence rosé, but I do have to be at work. It's in 30. So
Ooh.
I actually don't like really expensive champagnes.
well, with ours, I can't drink a lot of our sparkling wine because they are the Champagnat method, so it is very strong.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, I'll drink the rosé, but the Champagnat method, we do it where each bottle is, well, girl, we'll do that in the next show. Okay, so whose turn is it?
That's our next episode.
The other thing I really love, because I'm a sweet
go
person.
into this theory, but you don't want to hear about the turning mechanism of every fourth turn and all.
Oh yeah, no, but we know basically how it works.
Yeah.
I love a good ice wine myself.
Oh, you need to try the chewy one I found. Anyway, but I digress. Okay, whose turn
Right.
is it to pick the
Not
book?
my turn this time. What book does somebody want, or do you want to just?
Okay. All right, it's a rock paper scissors between you and Mike. So like fight.
I fight you.
Bring it on, woman.
No, I fight dirty. Ask Lauren.
Come out here to the deck. Let's bring it on.
Yeah.
All
She got her
well,
hoops
you know what?
out.
I'm gonna let you pick first because I picked first the last time.
I think I
But
picked first
if it's
last time.
boring and it's like,
I don't have a book pre-selected, so go for it.
no, it's all for you.
Do you have one in mind? Who
I
has
don't-
one in mind?
No,
I don't have one in mind.
he's like a whole Tom Clancy type person. I'm gonna shoot that out there, but you're getting it.
But the last book that you did, what was that? Secret
Yeah.
Spy Ring? That
The
was
Secret
a
Spy
good
Ring.
one.
Coloring thing.
Wait, did you tell them?
Tell them what? Did I pick the
What?
book? Yeah, definitely. Well, then go
Totally.
ahead. Go ahead and pick
Totally.
this
You're
one.
picking this one. You're on your own.
No, it's all you, woman.
Nope. I have responsibilities.
Well, just post it in a couple. Pick one and post it in a couple of days, Mike, or
Yes.
or pick
For
it
sure.
2 or 3.
Miguel, it is on. You are picking the book. It's on.
I don't have one pre-picked, but I will pick
It is
one
Mike.
in the next day or two.
Yeah, pick one and post it, and then we'll.
I will.
Yeah, and it could be a new one, an old one. You know, this one. Look how old this one was, but it's really
This
good.
one was fabulous.
Amazing. And like I was telling people about this at work, and they're like, "Can I borrow the book? Can I borrow
Right.
your book? Can I borrow your book?" And they all want to read it. And these are kids in their early 20s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Nice.
all right, yeah.
It's a quick read too. It's not a long, ponderous book. You know.
For sure.
Aw, that's so cool. They should join the book club.
But they're like, I need time. I'm like, oh, first of all, you need time too.
Right.
Doing seriously, no. But
They're working at the winery.
Decided. Well, I'm working at the winery. Good job.
Show off. Hey, I work at the winery too, so.
Well,
Mike's on the book. I don't know what happened to. I don't know where Vanessa went. I might not have her.
Yeah, we'll
Vanessa's
try to reach out
probably
to her,
delivering
see
a
what's
little
going on.
baby.
She is. I just wanted to
Little
make
baby,
sure I have
too.
her
Little
name.
baby. We'll message her, but we miss you, Aunt Vanessa. So hopefully the next one. Miguel, you
Yes.
are up to bat on the book choice.
Okay.
I will.
Wedding.
I'll post something.
And I'm very proud of you guys with all that, but you need to go home because I gotta go home. I'm home.
In conclusion,
You gotta go home, Mike. You gotta
So I love that you guys love the book. That's very exciting.
Yes, it was
the
a
book
good
was
pick.
fantastic.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
A good.
Yeah. I'm
pick.
so glad because and except for the one.
Hit the old like horror books.
I know, but I really liked it, and the Silent Patient blew me away, and then we got that other one, but the other one looked so good. It
did. It was a pretty present.
So good.
So is it my turn?
Cool. It was nasty.
Is it my turn?
Go ahead. It can be your turn. It's your turn.
Ooh, we're gonna go old school.
Do you want it?
Yes, she can have it.
Can I have it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I got a choice.
Okay, good.
But I'll put it up. But one of them is going to be The Dark Half by Stephen King, which was the one book that got me hooked on reading novels.
Oh.
And it was that one. And then I might kind of kick it into maybe some Victorian age reading.
Cool.
Like Edgar Allan Poe.
Love Poe.
Yes, maybe a little bit of we'll see. What's in there?
All right, you're on.
Yep.
Yes! You said fancy.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So never mind. We're gonna change it down to Sophia.
Yep.
So let me know what your pick is, so then we can post it, and I can post a date, and then we should be good.
Sounds good.
That was a good pick, Becky.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
It was awesome, Becky.
Yeah. I love it when we all like it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, dude. Well, I will.
We miss Vanessa, and Samantha's gonna have a beautiful wedding, so it'll all be fine.
Yeah, I know. She was gonna make it next one.
I'm so happy. I'm gonna go.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye. Bye.